Hi. Well, I know it's been a while, so I thought I'll come and make a new video. So, in this video, I'm going to be talking about what I noticed and what someone told me. Now, there's a guy called No Swear Monkey God, and I just found out that he was lying again and trying to manipulate me into trusting him, but he started swearing again. And how I found out was I posted a story and I asked people to help me get my followings up because in order for me to go live, I need 1,000 followers, and I've been struggling at the moment. It's been in the 840 to 30 region. So anyway, I thought this would get people to help me to get their following boosted up. So what I did is I try and post stories and reels. Anyway, so I was very surprised to notice that suddenly he said he wasn't going to help. And then he said, and this sounds really strange, that he needs to be unbanned in order for him to abide his sins, which was weird. Anyway, so I told him that he's not going to be unbanned, but also that it doesn't make sense if he really is repenting that he's not going to help me. So then suddenly he says he hopes I never go live again. So then I block him, and then suddenly on another group chat he starts swearing at me, and then I found out this morning from another guy called Aron that he's the reason that I've been losing followers, along with Naylor, of course. But this wouldn't make sense because it was like, well, it was almost 850 followers, and now it's gone down by like 15 plus, which isn't good, actually. I was always wondering, I had a feeling that someone was, spreading gossip and trying to turn people against me. But I mean, I always suspected it was Naylor mostly, but now I know this other guy has also been working with Naylor. And I mean, obviously, this should be a bannable offence on Instagram to instigate hate campaign against me. But I'm sick of repeatedly explaining what happened to me. So, if these people are stupid enough to be manipulated by Naylor and Co., then really it's not even worth them being a follower anyway, because they're too easily manipulated and controlled. So do I really want them as a follower? Well, not really, if they're gonna be misled so easily. So in a way, it's their choice. I mean, I cannot force anyone to follow, but I can only give my side of the story and what I expect, and what I will tolerate. And then, I leave it up to them. But I think it's really unfair that people just believe what other people say. and start to unfollow me, and it doesn't show their loyalty towards me. And I also was speaking to another guy called George, and I mean, he's very sneaky, and he said he thought that also I didn't deserve to go live. So I told him, have you forgotten what I've done for you and how I let you join my No Swear group chats? And then he said, well, that was 2 years ago. Doesn't matter. I still did him a favor. And when me and Finn were running the group chats, we, we were nice enough to give him a chance, which he broke about 3 times to the best of my memory. So then we thought, well, no, this guy doesn't belong in this group chat. So then he got banned, but then he was still joining live stream, but then one day he swore in the live stream, so I had to ban him from the live stream. And then he's making all sorts of excuses up, and then he was saying, can I join back? And I said, well, not really, only as a guest. So I was nice enough anyway, and I think I did give him a final chance. Well, someone else asked me to see what he needs to say, and then he was trolling again in there. So then I said, no, get out. So anyway, to cut a story short, it didn't end well for him or for the others. So I was just very angry at them. So I told him no, but then he kept saying, well, I need to join back. Anyway, then this new one came out a few months ago that he needed 1,000 followers to go live. And that's just very unfortunate. Hold on. Dogs came in. So then I thought, well, this is going to be a test of the real loyal followers. And it didn't work out as well as I thought, because the followers didn't really, they thought, well, I don't know what they were thinking, but they didn't really support me as much as I needed to be supported. So yeah, I really don't know what more I can do. But also, what I was going to say is I was also very surprised by this guy called Aron. Now, I don't know if this was a joke or whether, don't know really what on earth happened, or whether someone used his phone suddenly or he got hacked. But he told me the only way that I can trust you is if you swear and say the F word. So I thought, well, surely this guy, something's wrong. He's either, I don't know what he's thinking, or if he's maybe someone used his phone, because I remember one time he told me that someone had used his phone and left messages on his story without his permission. Well, one way or the other, we're going to find out. I mean, I'm very close to reporting him because, it's absolutely a sick thing to do. ask someone, and especially if he's claiming that he's a Christian, and apparently, hopefully, not a troll. But again, this puts him in a very bad light, and also makes me not want to trust him either, because you know how can I trust someone that is asking me to do such a despicable thing? So let's hear what he has to say to defend himself. Don't want to report and block him right now. I want to get his side first, and then I'll decide based on his response what I do. But it's very bizarre. But the priority still is to try and get me to go live. So all the good people should try to follow and get others to follow me so I can go live and keep spreading this awesome message of no swear, which back in the day I used to do, and I think people got enjoyment and knowledge out of it. But until this wall goes away, and I don't know when, if Instagram's going to cancel that wall, then the only other thing is to get me to 1,000 followers, so now I can go back to spreading this message on a daily basis. So yeah, everyone do your best to help me. Okay, well, that's all I wanted to say, and yeah, keep doing the no swear, the good people. I'm very good, and I hope I've inspired you. Okay, that's all for today. Bye.